It is a big idea. Propaganda.
Talk about global warming.
With skillful
we talk
manipulating
about
of
UN.
press,
We talk about the NWO.
they're able to make the victim
They're
look
prepping
like
for
the
Megan.
criminal, and the criminal look like the victim.
Once the red carpet gets rolled out for this New World Order program, everything is free game.
I welcome you to Make It Plain TV.
Something that Dr. Mark Lamont Hills of the world, who by the way blocked me when I challenged him on Twitter some time back about his article that he wrote about Malcolm X, is Malcolm X gay? He helped to push that narrative for a while, and I asked him questions about that after he was attacking another Black man. And when we deal with him and the Dr. Michael Eric Dysons of the world and the Roland Martins of the world, they don't really reflect Black masculinity. They are predictable Negroes that do not serve as a threat to the system of white supremacy. When you heard a Snoop Dogg talk, you felt an energy that reminded them of that unapologetic Black masculine man. And so the efforts that we are seeing by MSNBC, by NBC, by CBS, even talking about Gayle's threats were reprehensible, even though they're the network and they created that little pretend controversy that they were having between themselves and Gayle. All of these white mainstream outlets, they are doing what they're doing because this Black man roared. And you know, you hear a lion from a long way. And so my question is, yes, he used some colorful language, but the very language he used and that he's being condemned for is the same language that Lizzo uses in her records when she refers to us as bad bees. And Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are retweeting her, talking about she's their hero and putting out their playlist with her as #1, calling us bad bees. I'm no disrespect. I'm not saying that he should have used that language, but I understood that man's sentiment. I have nothing but respect for him. And the question is, why is it that Snoop had to be the one to say it to get y'all's attention? That's the question. You've got Susan Rice, the United States, a former United States security advisor, former ambassador to the UN. She was up for Secretary of State, of course, and white folks made sure she didn't get that job. Cory Booker, former presidential candidate coming out. Ava DuVernay, CBS, Michael Eric Dyson, Lovey, Essence Magazine. I was thinking of all of these different people. And when Susan Rice came out, she came out in response to Snoop on Twitter talking about that he better back the F off. And then she said that she's got an army. Yeah. Listen to that war language of this woman that has access to presidents of the United States, world leaders using that kind of language. And she didn't stop there. She went on to say, and you will lose. Why isn't the headline, Susan Rice, governmental official threatens foundational Black American? So they're feeling the power of the new Black media, of the Professor Griffs, of my dear brother, Brother Rich, of Dr. Boyce Watkins and other new Black media members, your Fly Nubian Queen, of the seeds that you guys have been sowing, consciousness. The consciousness seeds that have been sown and folks are starting to wake up, and it ticks them off that nobody's in their mind. The grassroots now have a voice and we can speak for ourselves and control the narrative. So they consider that to be an affront. That's what's going on.
Yeah, not Gayle. We're cooking her these days. Let me see if my video is up. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna share Gayle King. Let's go have a commercial break in a minute. Do a flower ceremony for Gayle King. Cause I don't know what the fuck is going on with Snoop and these niggas. But yeah, these niggas is mad scared right now. Yeah, Monique. Anyone in Black media who are for their people, of course, you know, who are not taking advantage, or who's, you know, anyone that's not reading from a script, anyone that's not trying to tell us, blame it on CBS when they work for CBS. I'm gonna blame it on both of y'all. You can't separate yourself. It's like you niggas work at Chipotle and somebody eat a burrito with some glass in it. I'm jumping over the counter and I'm gonna give you and burrito and Chipotle the glass. You can't separate yourself from the brand. You know what I'm talking about? This is the brand. She represents the brand. She represents the brand. Gayle King, Fail King, Snail King, Frail King. You know what I mean? Gayle Pauper. She's not even a king. Gayle Pauper. Yes, she represents the brand. Only way that she could redeem herself, talking all of that slick talk about the brand, is bitch, you could hop off of the brand. Other than that, you could kiss my ass with all of that deflection that you're trying to do. In circles that I frequent, they call it nigga-splaining. You're not going to get away with that, retard. You know what I'm talking about? Our hair hats are sewed on tighter than yours, my nigga. We you know, our brain can breathe. You can't fool us. You know what I'm talking about? You could fool these fools out here because it's a lot of them. Brothers in Harlem call them the 85ers. And goddamn it, if those numbers have not been, we don't die, we multiply. Well, the 85ers, they've multiplied as well. You know what I'm talking about? It's more of them now than I ever fucking saw in my life. And I thought that they were losing numbers. But somehow, some way, there's a state where they're breeding these niggas at a fast pace and rolling them out in motherfucking flatbed trucks and then dropping them off on Greyhounds and other places in cities where melanated people dwell, because every fucking way that I turn, the 85ers are multiplying. So she be talking to niggas like that. She be talking to people like that. She's not talking to us. She's not talking to us. She is not talking to us. Yeah, looking like Alf. The fuck out of here. She ain't talking to us. We not stupid. We're not thirsty. We have alternate media. We have a quote unquote second opinion to the shit that you're saying. And if the shit is not across the board, if it's not a royal flush, we not going with it. We are not falling for it. If the shit cannot fit nicely in the narrative that all of us hold on to, no, bitch. I'm not going for it. I did not see the Malcolm X documentary. Everybody's asking me about that. I've been doing my research. I've had my nose in mad books. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't been TV time. I'll let you know when I'm able to fucking binge, because to be honest with you, I want to binge on something like that. Not just trying to watch one of them, you know. I'm gonna binge on it. So in the spirit of Gayle King and her weird ass, we're gonna take a commercial break. You know what I mean? We're gonna tap into Brother Red Pill and his commercial. What does he have to say about Gayle King? Let's go.
You and Oprah are not invited back to the motherfucking seasoned potato salad barbecue. You were forever forsaken to the motherfucking Harvey Weinstein barbecue, where there's raisins in the motherfucking potato salad and the chicken has no Sazone on it. She said the way that CBS edited the interview, they made it look like I was coming at Kobe. Bitch, you was! And the only way that she made her bones in journalism is tearing down her brothers. I want to trade her for Yao Ming. Send them to the center of the coronavirus, because these bitches is batshit crazy. Harvey Weinstein running around out here peeing on chicks, doing all kind of bestiality and shit. This nigga has a fucking yoni. Kevin Spacey is out here killing niggas that accuses him of grabbing their bussy. Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself, but y'all don't have nothing to say about that. It's beyond buck dancing. They buck moonwalking. They past buck dancing. These bitches is Buck Rogers. You bitches is couch surfing at Jeff Epstein's house. Y'all cleaning the toilets at Harvey Weinstein's mansion. Tell us what's going on in there. What we need you to do is get in your fucking buggy and go to the fucking get out picnic and tell us what the fuck is going on in Bohemian Grove, bitch. That's what we need, cause you got access. The gay mafia, what they doing on them yachts? What they doing on the casting couch? What the fuck are they doing in the back rooms of them Hollywood studios? And you out here shooting and then blame it on CBS, bitch. You should have said that you had the coronavirus and you couldn't show up to work that day. Tell Kobe and Gigi to cook this bitch from the ancestral realm. It's gotten to that point. We gotta put these bitches' pictures on the altar and go in. I wanna see her edges fall out. Where my Baba Lau's at? Somebody needs to sew her lips shut and then sew that fucking hair hat tighter on her head. Matt Lauder, Charlie Sheen, Charlie Rose. But the reason why you don't know the intricate details about these fucking pedophiles and these pieces of shit, because the media is protecting them and the media is using these motherfuckers as a smokescreen so we could paint the face of the fucking rape culture as our own. What's up with all of these preachers and priests and whatnot? They gave Nicki Minaj's brother 25 years. When Akon builds up his city, I'm gonna be at the gate scanning you niggas, and none of you niggas is allowed inside of the new Wakanda when it comes to these smear campaigns. We need black media. We need strong black media.
You mentioned gender wars earlier. Right now, people are not even claiming genders, Brother Rich. So who will speak to them? I think it's sensitive right across the board, Brother Rich, and we should handle one another with care. And we should approach any of these situations in love. And I'm saying that to send that subtle message to Gayle King. We should approach it with love instead of this vitriol and this venomous kind of hatred that we have lying deep within us. You understand what I'm saying? And then turn around and how Susan Rice, Vicky just mentioned that Susan Rice says she has an army and you will lose. Well, Gayle King thinks she has the army of CBS and the rest of the alphabet boys backing her. You understand what I'm saying? When you, I don't mean to be winded, but when you got to come against real black men that speak bold and speak truth to power, all right? It just shows you the dynamic of who we are when Susan Rice needs an entire army to deal with Snoop. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a valuable lesson in that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think they know, and this is my last point, I think they know and understand that demographic that Snoop is speaking to, and they know there's power in that demographic, man.
How things are addressed is very important, and there's learning curves to everything concerning that. And I think in this particular instance, because it was done in a public way, because Gayle King denigrated and disrespected the legacy of this man in front of the world, I think it was appropriate that it happened the way that it did. Folks got to understand it wasn't just this one incident with Gayle King and Oprah. It's and I use their names interchangeably, you know, because they're one and the same. It has been an ongoing thing that they've done to, you know, attacking the Russell Simmons and the Bill Cosbys and the Michael Jacksons and going after those, and Gayle coming up off of these back-to-back series that she did on R. Kelly. And the point is they're trying to make black men the face of sexual predation. They're trying to make black men the face of criminality. And our issue, and we know this in the black community, is not that we don't believe in checking and correcting and criticizing each other. You can look at my platform and see that I've done that and do that. It's the fact that Gayle King and her network only cover black men. You have a whole list of white men, and the #1 profile for what? Pedophiles and terrorists are from their community. But of course, the people that they refuse to come against, the Les Moonves of the world, the Charlie Roses of the world that Gayle King used to co-host with, and he's accused by dozens of women, y'all, dozens of women. But guess what? No charges have been filed, and he left with a halfway decent severance package. This historical, journalist, this revered journalist. You have your Harvey Weinsteins, your Matt Lauers. Where are the charges against these white men? You have the Bill O'Reillys of the world. Where are the charges of these men? So these are the ones that are involved in very real criminal activity, and they're not being held accountable for it. So our issues with Gayle is you're buddies with some of their wives and children. Where's your interviews with them? And so in addition to that, and I hope I'm not off on this, one of the things that I wanted to say, you talked about the Army, Gayle's Army, being the network and so forth. I believe that was a controversy that her network was involved in. She took one day off of work Friday. She came to work shining real bright with her cute little yellow dress on and stuff like that today. Right. And then guess who did the work for her? Joe Scarborough. Did y'all see that this morning? Joe Scarborough on MSNBC, I think did a whole quarter segment and brought in a black political operative, a black lady named Karine Jean-Pierre on, and to talk about how black women are hated. They had Reverend Al Sharpton on there talking about people may call me soft, but I stand with Gayle. So wow. This was so.
When was that today?
Today, yes, sir. Wow. This morning. You'll find that I did a show about it on FlyNewQueenTV.com, shameless plug there. But I was so disgusted, and I read the article from The Hill. If you Google it, you'll see all the major print outlets that have covered this, and that are covering this. And they made a phone call to make this happen. But the point is, we're not buying it. The point is, the people from the ground up, the grassroots, are roaring back, and it's a problem for them. And then this the other one quick thing I was disgusted by that Oprah did. So Gayle misses work Friday, right? Mm-hmm. From CBS. What does Oprah do? Oprah showed up at NBC. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Crying.
Right.
Did she cry for Kobe Bryant?
No.
Did she cry for Gigi?
No.
Did she cry for any of the other 7? Did she cry for his wife and his surviving 3 other daughters that are alive? She did not even mention their name in that clip in particular that went viral. Mm. They have managed, when I say they, I'm talking about Oprah, I'm talking about Gayle, I'm talking about the networks, have managed to successfully change the narrative using this dead man as fire and trying to make us sympathize and empathize with her, talking about threats she's getting, unverified, non-credible threats. And like one of the other new black media members said earlier today, if there are real credible death threats, the question is law enforcement involved? That's what we want to know. Right. Is law enforcement? You're in social media, brother Rich. You're in social media, Professor Griff. Haven't you guys got threats? And I'm sure y'all's probably were credible. I have way credible when you're dealing with these white supremacists in particular, or a jealous, silly Negro that's messed up in the head. But my point is, I'm not saying that she didn't get some nut job to say stuff. I'm on social media. You get people to drag you, make threats, and do crazy stuff all the time. And some of them actually make videos. But I'm saying somebody that's on Gayle King's level, if there was something credible to that, I'm saying, baby, you need to call the police and let's come on now. You've successfully turned this off of Brother Kobe to make us sympathize with you. And white media is panicking because Gayle and Oprah have been their cover. They are tools for white supremacy. And they parrot their talking points. So this is why everybody's panicking right now. This is why it's a big deal.
Mm. What do you think about Vicky and Professor Griff? That was powerful, sister. I definitely appreciate your breakdown. They said you coming with the receipts tonight in the chat room, Vicky. They said you got the receipts tonight. When something like this usually happens, and it happens with somebody who's on the job, let's say a police officer did something, a journalist did something, or somebody did something at the corporate office, and it could have been some snake stuff, and the excuse usually is, well, they just doing their job, and we hear that often. And in fact, I mentioned this before. They interviewed a lot of the Nazi soldiers, and they asked them how was they able to do such a heinous acts, and they said that they was just doing their job. So something psychological happens when you give yourself that excuse. It seems as though you could do some dirty shit and you won't feel no guilt after you do it. So talk to me about the "I'm just doing my job" excuse that everybody loves to use.
That's really funny.
Talk to us.
That's really funny, and it's funny that you should mention that particular example that you gave us, simply because it was the when I first started hearing that particular excuse, is what I call it, not even a reason, Brother Rich. And there is a difference. When I first started hearing that excuse, it was in and around the time when they beat Rodney King. Now, here are two people on vacation in a hotel room, hearing ruckus outside of their hotel room, and decided to film, right? If you watch the body language of those police officers beating Rodney King, it was though they didn't feel uncomfortable. They felt and looked very comfortable. And this is something that they've always done. So when people start saying, is that how police officers are trained? They had to come up with a whole narrative surrounding the whole idea of how police officers change, and that deflected away from Black men getting beat and shot and mishandled by police officers. Once you're in police custody, once they pull you over, handcuff you, talk to you, detain you, they're responsible for you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying all that to say this. The example that you gave, Brother Rich, was right on point, simply because I started hearing that I'm only doing my job. And Brother Rich, these people, the brothers and sisters that were coming home from Vietnam, one of the elder brothers admitted to me that when they put a gun in his hand to shoot the brown man, he shot over their head. He purposely missed because he didn't want that on his soul. He didn't want that on his spirit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because when you send 25,000 advisors over into the in the Tonkin Gulf in Vietnam, right, to kill brown people, and you use the guy, I'm only doing my job. You understand what I'm saying? Well, anybody can use that particular excuse, Brother Rich. The Kaczynski, who've killed over 40, 50 people for the mob, he could say, well, I was only doing my job. King Leopold of Belgium killed 10, 15, 20 million Black Africans. He could say he's working for the French government or the Belgian government, and he could say, well, I'm only doing my job. We can write these particular things off and use them, Brother Rich, as excuses to justify something that we have deep down inside in us. Now listen, you can't pull anything out of anyone that's not already in them. You understand what I'm saying? So if someone does these particular things, they know on a psychological level, Brother Rich, who they're choosing to pull these particular things off. They understand who they're choosing. They understand the psychological makeup of these particular individuals, and they run you through a series of psychological and mental tests. Brother Rich, I've been there going through the police academy. I've been under their psychological evaluation and failed the test because I'm not built like that. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand this particular dynamic of just doing my job. Condoleezza Rice, what was his name? The general that was under that was under Bush.
Colin Powell?
Colin Powell. I started hearing them from them, the fact that they have to uphold the office that they were sworn into. And these people are just doing their jobs. So it almost seems like at the hands and the death of Black people, at the behest of white overseers and controllers, it seems like they know who to put in these positions. And the ultimate excuse for these individuals, like, well, look, I'm only just kind of doing my job, regardless of who it hurts, who it defames, who it maims, and who it kills. Last point. You think Gayle King was just doing her job? I think that interview was scripted. And so many people are talking about coming to Gayle's aid. Why do you need to come to Gayle's aid? Gayle, apologize. If you're not wrong, then why are you apologizing? What are you apologizing for? Do you understand what I'm saying? I think the deeper issue, when I first heard it, I'm like, wow, what is his children going to think once they hear this? And then Gayle King is talking to another Black woman, Lisa, who she's trying to win Lisa's confidence over to pull her on her side so they can continue to gang up and beat up on Black men. But a Black man stood up and called them out, and here where we are. This is where we are, Brother Rich, with it.
Facts. Absolutely.
Okay.
Baghdad, it is a kind of euphoria
talk about peak oil. You talk about
It is a
human
big
rights.
idea. Propaganda.
You talk
A new
about
world order.
global warming.
With
You
skillful
talk about
manipulating
UN.
of
You
press,
talk about the
they're able
NWO.
to make the victim
They're
look
prepping
like
for
the
mega.
criminal, and the criminal look like the victim.
Once the red carpet gets rolled out for this New World Order program, everything is free game.
I welcome you to Make It Plain TV.
The drama in Black History Month is by design, though, to distract us. You understand what I'm saying? From what we need to be doing this shortest and coldest month of the year. But anyway, we still making it happen.
Somebody mentioned Monique, and this would be the last question. What do y'all do? Does this the conversation going on right now? Does it make you think about again about what Monique said about Oprah?
Well, indeed.
Yeah.
No, go on, Vicky. Go on, Vicky.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Thank you. Absolutely. And that's the other thing that I want folks to think about too, when they try to pit the black man and the black woman against each other, and they're trying to make this a gender war. It's so pathetic, and it's so obvious that it's a trick, and they're trying to finesse us, because Monique has been calling out Oprah for what, 3 years at least now, if not more. She's been talking about how she was screwed by Oprah, and how Tyler Perry was in on it, but mostly she's been going in on Oprah. And so so what does that mean? Why isn't Oprah giving voice to another black woman? And I just want to remind folks again, when you hear them out there talking about, they're tripping about this black man disrespecting another black woman, that's a lie. The first person, before Gayle's interview even aired, the first person to check Gayle was who? Another black woman. Lisa Leslie, right there on the spot. So absolutely, I believe that Monique is going to be vindicated. People are taking a second look at that. And again, this goes to Oprah's pattern. And don't forget that Oprah wasn't really fooling with us. She was doing ratchet shows in the beginning. Once she built us up and she got the audience with that white woman, she ditched black folk. And then after that, when she left after 25 years with a talk show, she started her own network. It was a flop for a long time. And who did she have to come to save that network? Black folk. Iyanla Vanzant, who she got into a public spat with, disrespected. And remember, she wouldn't even respond to Iyanla for the rest of the year that Oprah was on television, until she brought her on that last time, and she put it out there how she was sending secret notes to privately reconcile, and Oprah ignored her. But she blew up the Dr. Phil, she blew up Dr. Oz, she blew up, what's that girl who cooks? Rachel Ray and stuff. You know, she was caping for all them white people and stuff, but she gave the middle finger to Iyanla. But when her network wasn't going anywhere, she brought Iyanla on to save that failing network. She brought on Tyler Perry's show. She went straight black. She started showing up to Essence Magazine's events. Remember, she got on there and did that speech talking about that was her first time in what, 20 years? I don't know how long they've been doing it. I don't want to make up a number, but I believe she was saying it was her first time there after all of those years. Wow. And so then now I don't think she has the controlling interest in her own network anymore. But yes, black women helped to build her. And Monique definitely stands out to me. So shout out to Monique.
That was powerful. You do come with them receipts, Vicky. God damn. You come with them receipts. Shit. There's no point messing with this sister.
Her memory is impeccable.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I can't come anywhere on the Pioneers Black Magic and sitting in the presence of Professor. Are you crazy? What I look like? And I'm trying to be quiet a little bit so I don't embarrass myself.
Shit, I would hate to get in an argument with you, sister. Oh, you would tear somebody up. Right.
You remember what you did on the first date.
I guess that's why. What did you just say, Professor Grimm?
I said, you the kind of woman remember what you did on the first date. Like, well, I didn't hold a car door open. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm a little different in that environment. I'm totally different. I keep a close circle, but the most talking I do is to my people. That's certainly for sure. But it's an honor, my brothers. It's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to be with you.
Oh, give thanks. And I think she's absolutely correct. Monique will be vindicated. Even if Monique never says another word. And let me just say this, Brother Rich. We cannot be surprised. And Vicky touched on it a few questions ago. We can't be surprised when the Creator sets up these set of circumstances that will bring the best and the worst out of who we are. And whether the Creator used what's the name? Gayle King for this lesson that we need to learn, Hey, here it is in front of us, man. What is the lesson that we need to extract from? It's definitely not the lesson that Michael Eric Dyson is giving us. It's like, stop that, bro. Stop that. You trying to intellectualize our genocide.
That's deep. That's deep. Say that again. He's trying to intellectualize
our genocide. He knows what's going on with us, and he's trying to intellectualize it. Yeah. So, come on, man. You understand what I'm saying? People like him, like Neely Fuller said, and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing says, he says, listen, until we understand what racism, white supremacy is, everything that we think we know and understand will only confuse us if we don't understand it. But listen, deeper than that, these are the kind of people, they don't want to stop racism, white supremacy. They try to find a comfortable place in it.
Preach.
You understand? So it's very real when I hear them, because the first thing that came to mind is like, bruh, whose side you on? You understand what I'm saying? We've been protecting, and we were starting to regain our level of respect for Black women again. You understand what I'm saying? So him to come on in the out shoppings of the world to say they standing with Gayle King, standing with Gayle King for what and on what? On what? You understand what I'm saying? What's the principles and the basis of you standing with Gayle King for what? So she has the right backing to help destroy Black men. That's what you supporting? No, we're not going to sit and we're not going to tolerate that. And they truly think that the Snoop Dogs and those of us that are on the front lines have no power. Look at this, Brother Rich and Sister Vicky. Why are they responding the way they're responding then?
Exactly.
If we some insignificant new agenda, then why are they responding to us like they're responding? Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Come on, man. We like baby's kids, man. We're gonna be, and I know
we're gonna multiply. All right. Yes, sir.
Hey, family, I promise y'all a powerful, explosive show. I didn't lie. I did not lie.
This channel is dedicated to bringing truth to power and engaging our enemy with intellectual warfare. The dominant society will never switch up their playbook, so we must make a new one. The war we find ourselves in is a technological war, using technology, propaganda, and psyops to oppress and control you. Black intelligentsia, please share the new Black media, counter propaganda arms, Make It Plain TV.